Considering I've been a mild K-pop fan since I was 12, when I say mild K-pop fan, I mean I was aware of K-pop. I knew about Girls' Generation and 21. I watched some interviews on YouTube, but that was the extent of it. And then I lived in Korea for a while, and somehow I just never really became that hardcore interested in K-pop. I've always been aware of it. But why, when KATSEYE come along, am I absolutely obsessed? Even though they are technically not a K-pop group, they are a global group. Their first fans were, of course, K-pop fans because they have been trained in the K-pop methodology with a combination of Geffen Records in LA and Hybe from Korea behind the K-pop group BTS. And although they trained completely 1 year by themselves, the last year of their 2-year training turned into a survival competition where fans could go online and vote for who they wanted to stay in, and they had to perform certain challenges. It was very interesting coming across this group online because I'd heard their song a lot, but I assumed it was just a K-pop group because so many K-pop groups these days sing fully in English. And of course it has that sound, which makes so much sense because it was Touch, by the way. It makes so much sense because they're half owned, half, Korean owned, and a lot of things they do are in the very K-pop style, and they trained in the K-pop methodology. Ooh, girl. But it wasn't until I think I saw a video of them performing it and I was like, wow, who are these girls? They are beautiful, talented, this is everything that's missing from my life. We're missing this. So I'd seen it come up on Netflix a lot, this Popstar Academy, KATSEYE or KATSEYE Popstar Academy, whatever it is. And it was very interesting watching a documentary about the 2 years of their training, already knowing who's in the final group. And so let's start there. Even though the documentary was so long ago now, and people are so strung up on everything that happened in the documentary, even though it's water under the bridge and it's all been sorted out, it was really interesting to see how crazy the producers are, the exploitation. And it really goes to show many points. Goes to show that pretty privilege is a real thing. You can see in the documentary that due to the prettiness of some members, they're treated completely differently to other members. There was a lot more leniency in the rules and what they could get away with compared to others. It's also interesting to see how there was a lack of forward thinking when it came to the final group's height requirements. I always thought to myself, there was certain members who were too short to fit in with other members and they were never going to debut together. And there was one member of the training, Lexi, and when things got too much, when integrity was being left at the door, Lexi, I have so much respect for her because she said, no, I'm leaving. And what was crazy about all that was she was Hybe's CEO's favorite. He kind of basically said it in the documentary that he wanted her, and there was every arrow was pointing towards she's probably going to end up in the group. There was a lot of that in the documentary. There's some suspicious moments where there was kind of Manon kept saying over and over, I have a gut feeling I'm going to be in the group. I have a gut feeling I'm going to be in the group. And maybe that's just positive mindset manifestation, having a gut feeling. But the amount of times she said it in the documentary, and then you consider everything else we see in the documentary related to Manon, it was suspicious. But hey, she did end up in the group. So although I completely understand Lexi's point of view and why she left, so much respect, I also understand that if you went through that for 2 years, why you would stick it out because you're so close. So I completely understand both points of view. But when Lexi was out, the dynamic completely changed because either they would have a group full of girls similar height, the shorter girls, or taller girls. So I don't understand why the producers auditioned thousands of girls worldwide, but there was no height requirement. Because no matter how talented someone was, if they were too short and they were like the only short one in the whole group, they wouldn't have looked cohesive together. So that was strange. There's a lot of strange things in the documentary. There's a lot of interesting things. There were some members in the documentary who weren't in the documentary. You saw pictures of them in the ranking and you thought, who are they? They mustn't have agreed to take part in the documentary. So, and because I didn't actually watch the official competition, I don't know. But there's something about the way the documentary is filmed, the way it's done, which is very addicting, hooking. Like, it's made really well as a documentary, and I think it shows you how important the training is. And you can see that with KATSEYE. So I think the reason I love KATSEYE is that there's such a lack of girl groups these days. I could stop the sentence right there. There's a lack of girl groups in the Western, outside of Korea, there's a lack of girl groups. But also there's a lack of girl groups that are beautiful, talented, so well media trained, however, without feeling rigid and fake. Like, whenever I see KATSEYE's interviews or their videos, I feel like they're so raw and real. They talk about very real things and their relationship together looks so genuine. And they talk about things and stuff that I haven't seen other celebrities wherever talk about openly and be. So I really love that. You can see how much the training has really run through. And there's just this strange thing in the world now where we really want to give trophies out to mediocrity. There's so many singers now who don't dance and refuse to dance. Or, they're an amazing singer, they're a good dancer, whatever, but they don't really know how to sell themselves to the media, how to be the full package. And it's almost like we give flowers to celebrities who just do the bare minimum. There's such a lack of excellence. And in my opinion, when I look at famous people or like girls I want to see in a girl group, I want it to be escapism, and I want it to be not everyone can be this much of a triple threat and an all-rounder. So that's why these girls deserve to be famous. Do you remember the Powerpuff Girls? I don't think it's even come out yet, but we saw the behind the scenes for the Powerpuff Girls Netflix program, and the disappointment rung through. And then the Winx Club, they really tried to push this very unglamorous, unfabulous Winx Club on us. And the appeal of KATSEYE is that the company recognizes girls love to see other beautiful, glamorous, confident, cool girls being beautiful, glamorous, confident, cool girls. There's such an appeal about that. From a business point of view, it makes sense that they would have girls from many different musical territories so that they can be more global and spread to as many musical territories as possible. And as much as all the thousands of girls they, auditioned, I'm really surprised that there wasn't a Russian-speaking girl selected, because Russia is a massive country and there's so many countries that speak Russian. So I would have thought that'd be a good territory. And it seems like from the final selection that Megan, who ends up in the group obviously, is the only one who is, well, she's half Singaporean. She speaks Cantonese, but I'm not too sure how well her Cantonese is. China is the most populated country in the world. Or maybe it got surpassed by India. I'm not too sure, but it's like the top two. Congratulations, China. You're still in the running towards becoming the world's most populated country. And yet, there didn't seem to be much emphasis on the Chinese market. So I wonder if Megan is fulfilling that. Even though Mandarin is spoken much more than Cantonese, or if it just wasn't really a thought or like a focus for them because it might be a difficult market to get into with the laws and regulations. Similarly with Russia, there can be different kind of laws and regulations there that makes it harder for music from this kind of group to get in. But when you look at KATSEYE, you can see a girl that represents you. For example, for me, if I look at Daniela, especially when she had her blonde, wavy hair, she's not that tanned. You wouldn't know until she says so that she's a Latina. So for white girls, they can look up to Daniela as kind of the white representation, but even better, she's bilingual and she represents the Latinas. So I love that I do that. It's such a like, how can you say Latina and not do a little like shimmy? Come on now. Like she represents the Latina girls. There's massive music market in the Spanish speaking Latin America. So duh, she is perfect all-rounder that fits for that. There had to be a Korean in the group because they trained under K-pop Mythology and they're half a Korean company. So of course Koreans are going to be a huge market for this group. Lara represents Indian girls, but any Desi or Middle Eastern girl who looks like Lara can see herself in that. Manon, is representing it for Black girls. As I said already with Megan, she is... Yeah, they went a bit crazy with the Asians. That's the thing that's like very interesting from a business perspective. So, Megan's my favorite. I love all of them. They're all fabulous, gorgeous, so talented, but just to, Megan's my favorite member, so so I'm not trying to put her down, but there is that kind of thinking of, is it from a business point of view, her heritage is like good for the market and the scene, or was it because they said in the documentary during the voting that Megan was very popular in the voting among so many different regions. She really struck a chord for the Middle East, and they had different regions where she was really popular when it came to voting. So I think that's very interesting that they weren't just looking at where the girls are from a business point of view. They're also looking at what regions of the world do they fit, what appeals to those regions of the world, because beauty standards, what they like in a famous person, in a singer, dancer, it's different in so many parts of the world. And then it comes to Sophia. Sophia's a very interesting one because, like I said, they went crazy with the Asians, and I wondered to myself, if there's already Yoonchae in the group and there's already Megan, isn't having Sophia in the group from a business point of view, not an emotional point of view, overkill? Because, well, you could say, okay, Sophia represents Southeast Asians, but Sophia, just from first look, she's not that tanned. If I put her together beside Yoonchae, you might think that they're both from the same country, but I think it is all to do with, well, first of all, forget business for a second. First of all, how could they not put Sophia in the group? She is the ultimate leader, Miss President, Miss World, perfect kind of person, but yet she is so kind and she takes care of everyone so well that she's so lovable. Having a Filipino in the group, just from a business point of view, not from Sophia being born to be the leader of this group and born to be a pop star. Having a Filipino in the group is great from a business point of view because the Philippines supports other Filipinos like no other. Filipinos go out and they are so passionate about supporting famous Filipinos for the sake of, you're Filipino, I'm Filipino, let's support each other. The amount of support KATSEYE got when they went to the Philippines, and they said that they were so overwhelmed by so much love, so much energy in the Philippines, says a lot. And Sophia said that because she was the only Filipino in the competition, she got so much love and support from the Philippines. But then also they showed how much support she got from so many different countries. It wasn't simply just the Philippines. And we see it time and time again, the way Bretman Rock, Bella Porch, that boxer whose name I forget. You see a celebrity and they have Filipino-ness in them, and the Philippines just come out and support them so well. So I think from a business point of view, this is also a reason, probably a very, very minor reason of putting Sophia in the group, because I think the ultimate reason for putting her in the group is just she is the ultimate triple threat. She has everything needed to be a pop star in this group. As for the rest of them, you know, it's Lara's confidence, the way she's so confident, and it can be difficult to put your finger on exactly why someone is cool or why someone is confident, and it can be very minuscule things. It can be how someone sits, how someone's eyes move after they answer a question. It can be the tiniest things between seeing a person in front of camera and being able to differentiate, oh, that person is cool and confident and that person is not. And there's other members who didn't make it into the group, and I noticed that when they talked, there was like a lack of belief in themselves, a lack of confidence, a lack of coolness. Lara has it. Megan has, as she always says, that kind of slightly kookiness to her, a little bit of aloofness, Aquariusness, you might say. Manon also, she's just so, I mean, she has a filter. she has her own filter that I think was available before she even joined the training program for KATSEYE. Like, if that isn't iconic enough of who she is and how she is, then I mean, I don't know what else there really is to say about that. Like, all of them have such coolness and confidence that can sometimes be hard to teach. Although I don't doubt that the trainer has done them so well. They're so good at being able to turn it on and be professional and answer questions the way that you kind of need to know in the media. They're also really good at, like I said, being themselves and being really natural. And I think sometimes it can be, there's only so much training can teach when it comes to charisma. And when it comes to Yoonchae, I think a lot of people really misunderstand what having a personality means. So many people think having charisma and a great personality means coming into the room and screaming and being the loudest in the room, and that is so wrong. Although there's members of KATSEYE who are loud, who are crazy, and that is so endearing about them, there's something I find so endearing about celebrities who don't need to come into the room screaming to be really funny, really witty, and really interesting. I think about celebrities like Naomi Osaka or Aubrey Plaza, those kind of celebrities who are just a little bit more chill, a little bit more quiet. But I love watching Naomi Osaka interviews. Like, she's so funny. She's so interesting. She's so talented. And she doesn't need to come into the room and tell you who she is. Her actions speak louder than her words. And with Yoon Chae, I'm not too sure if it's a language barrier because she's not fluent in English yet. I'm not too sure when she speaks Korean if she's much more extroverted in Korean or kind of similar. But when she speaks, she's cute, she's like very charming, and it's so endearing how the other girls kind of look after her, and they kind of learn stuff about her that they didn't know along the way. Like, she's always full of surprises. But then when she performs, especially the Mama performance, really sad that Manon didn't get to perform in Mama. I'd love to see them perform it again, all 6 of them. But Yoon Chae stood out for me, although it was fabulous and just like amazing. Yoon Chae really showed like how sassy and how fierce she can become on stage when she performs. Her facial expressions are excellent. So for people who are a little bit more quiet, they can look up to Yoon Chae as someone that they can admire. Like, oh, she's kind of quiet like me. And just like how from a business point of view, KATSEYE is supposed to hit most demographics in the world that they can, there also is the personality component of it. They're supposed to be, I heard this from a documentary about the Spice Girls, all girls are supposed to be individuals with a distinct personality that you can pick out and see, that come together to form a collective that really complements each other when they're together. Not just how they all look together cohesively, aesthetically, but also just personality-wise, which I think KATSEYE have perfectly to a T. But the point is also to have different kind of personalities and girls so that different kind of girls can find one member in the group that speaks to them. When it comes to the charms, that's really interesting. At first, I didn't get it and I thought, wow, this is truly marketing at an advanced level. They all have an individual charm and they all say the charm has different meanings. Some of the meanings they say really overlap with each other. You know, one girl says it represents sincerity and then another girl says her charm represents something with a very similar word. But I get it, it's marketing, they have to do it, la la la. But it's interesting, they picked out a charm from Pandora each. But Daniela chose, instead of a shield, she chose angel wings. And I'm not too sure if it's because Pandora doesn't have a shield or if the shield charm was ugly. But angel wings suits her better. And I wonder if the CEOs and producers behind KATSEYE, side note, that producer who said, oh, it was our best episode yet when they decided to eliminate girls with a robot voice. And also decided to backstab the girls in the documentary by showing the video to every girl about which members they picked to be in the group, but telling them beforehand that no one would see that. Evil, thrown in hell just for you. I just wonder if they rethought their decision on giving her the charm of a shield, because angel wings suits her much more, especially when she was in the blonde, like curly haired era. I see her more as angel. It just suited her better. It was strange that. But just despite that, the marketing of KATSEYE, I love it. I'm obsessed with that too. Why? Well, there seems to also be a lack of marketing these days. KATSEYE's YouTube channel is full of so many addicting, really fun, edited in such a interesting behind the scenes way, glimpse into behind the scenes of music videos, performances, what they did summer 2024. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't check it up. I don't know if there's Taylor Swift, for example, YouTube channel where they do the same thing. And if they did it, sorry, I didn't see it, I missed it, wasn't interested. But when it comes to KATSEYE, The collaborations they've done with Glossier, Pandora, Fendi, just like so far they've done advertisements and collaborations and interviews. So many interviews. When I go online, it seems like there's such a lack of interviews today with many singers. They release a song, they might just do 3 kind of daytime chat show interviews and call it a quits. Like, okay, that's the extent of the marketing. And then it goes even further than that. There's old school marketing that they're doing. Britney Spears used to perform in shopping centres in the early 2000s, and obviously that style of marketing fell out of play because people stopped going to shopping centres. But KATSEYE said, who cares? When they did their short little Asian tour, they went to shopping centres to perform. And I think just sometimes the marketing teams really like underrate how someone who doesn't know who they are could just see them in the shopping centre and from there like become interested in them. There's a lot of this kind of stuff going on in KATSEYE. Even they joined very recently a Twitch streamer and they were on her stream. So they really, the team gets it. They understand that these girls, they need to be everywhere. They need to be online. Oh, don't even get me started about how funny like their TikTok videos and like Instagram videos are. There's times where I wonder like, wow, this has really been approved by upper management, because they make TikTok videos and online videos that you would imagine would get them in trouble and that they wouldn't be allowed to do. But that's part of the addictiveness of KATSEYE.